Dr. Elmi Mahmoud Nur, Minister of Public Works of Somalia, Reconstruction and Housing. Thank you very much for joining us. Minister, let's begin with the Spain-Africa Summit. What is the significance of Somalia participation in this event?
Thank you very much. It's a great honor and pleasure to participate in this forum meeting of Spain and African Summit. This, for me, is the first time to visit this pleasant and beautiful country. And secondly, to attend such a conference, which is Africa and Spain. So it is a very significant because Spain is the nearest country to Africa. That is, has a proximity, a relationship, and also has a long historical relationship with a number of African countries. So such kind of while we are living in a global, you can say, world, so to share the knowledge and to share the information and to share the development, that's a very, very crucial and very important. So it's a very significant. The more we, you can say, interact and cooperate, the more we can say the things and Africa can develop and we can share, the resources that the Africa have and also the knowledge and and the capacity of the other European countries.
What is the current state of relationship between Somalia and Spain, especially in terms of economic cooperation?
For the time being, it is not as significant because Somalia was experiencing a long, you can say, a civil war for the last 30 years. So therefore, there was not much investment and cooperation in that areas. But now for the the last 10 years, Somalia is recovering. And Somalia is open, to all, the countries. And now the relationship between Spain and Somalia is growing. A number of conferences of where Somalia delegation is participating was held here in Spain. Just it was only last week when the deputy prime minister and minister of finance, they have here a conference with the other UN and you can say Spain governments. So therefore, our frequent visit and conferences attending here is a very very frequent.
Urban development is one of your key portfolios. How is Somalia advising in this area, and where does Spain fit in?
Of course, Somalia, as I mentioned, it is just recovering from that a long conflict. Now it's a very, prepared to have such kind of investment. Somalia just recently achieved the debt relief under a HIBIC program. So therefore, Somalia is ready for investment. Secondly, the improvement of security is very, very growing very well. And Somalia has larger resources, untapped resources, including, you can say, blue economy, and you can say agriculture, natural resources, and industries, real estate, infrastructure. So as I'm managing, the infrastructure, Somalia needs, a huge investment in that area. Not only the public can do that, but the private sector. So we are developing a public-private partnership system wherein private sectors they can invest these areas. And just in October, we are going to hold this infrastructure conference where public companies, private companies, and financial institutions and all the international partners to attend. So the number of governments are interested in that. So we hope also Spain will participate in that one.
What specific opportunity exists for Spanish investors in Somalia? Concrete.
The most important areas specifically is suppose a blue economy. Somalia has a large and a long coast in Africa, 3,300 kilometers. It's expanding from, you can say, Indian Ocean to the Gulf of Aden, Arabian Sea. So that is rich, has marine resources. So Spain can invest and part of that investment is. Secondly, Somalia has livestock, the highest level per capita, millions and millions. Where we export, to the Gulf countries. We can export also meat to the Europe, and we can develop a public-private partnership where the Spanish the companies they can invest in that area of giant you see, you can say value added, you see, program is through, you can say, public-private partnership system or even private, you say, sector investment.
How do you envision Somalia-Spain collaboration evolving in the future?
Somalia is by nature it is has you see a relations with all you see countries. You know, you see the lot of Somalis are living in diaspora. You see, for the last 30 years they settle it in different countries and they are very active. So therefore, you see the Spain and European countries they have a large, you can say, Somalian diaspora in Europe. So therefore, they can engage these and they can use that skill to invest and use the investment in resources and natural resources in Somalia.
Lastly, what is your message to the Spain-Africa Summit, Spanish public and community?
My message is that Somalia and Spain, they can have as they were having, they can make, you can say, strong relationship and cooperation in the area of the education, in the area of information sharing, in the areas of transfer of knowledge, you can say, because Somalia they have a huge number of young and educated and people there. So invest in that also, that can be used in that skill, and also the universities of Spain also can be open in exchanging and we can say increasing the education of youth. Secondly, in infrastructures, that's the most important thing, the area which I am managing. There is a huge demand in real estate, in infrastructures, in building corridors, and that's what you see most of the European and other partners are interested in. Building corridors that can make you reach to the mainland, to the other countries. Somalia is a part of an East African community. As a member of East African community, it extends, you can say, that community to the Gulf of Aden. So it is extending from the Gulf of Aden to the sea, to the Atlantic Sea in Congo. So that's a huge area, where you can say, the Somalis and other communities of East African community can benefit. So therefore, you have a huge resources in that area, connecting to the Arab, and and European countries, and to Spain, and also to the Atlantic, we can say the sea. So that is a very, very rich resources are there. So Somalia can benefit that. But what is then the most demanding area? It is the infrastructure, and that requires a huge capital. And we are going to privatize the most of it. And here the Spanish companies, they can enter there and invest in ports, airports, roads, real estates, corridors. All these things are open, for investment.
Dr. Elmi Mohamud Noor, Minister of Public Works, Reconstruction and Housing of Somalia. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.